Hi, it's Monday night, the 12th of October, and day 286 of my journey to business alignment. All the while, I'm living the dream. My power statement I wrote down for this morning said, I will tell Fahad to finish up the last couple of remaining website tasks that he had, and I will try to get a new web developer through Fiverr, Fiverr, so that we can get those 3 problem tasks worked out. Once they're done, I can contact Ontraport.com and start processing the getting the membership system on the site, the forms all working, and get my email marketing all set up and ready to go for when people respond and sign up and fill in my contact form and all those auto response emails, everything. So here's my to-do list that I had for today. Right here, all of those are all done. Bam! Done! So exciting. My most important task today was to make sure Fahad got those last 2 or 3 tasks done, and so he'll be ready when I contract Ontraport, fun name, Ontraport. Try to say that fast 3 times. Anyhow, Ontraport to do these projects. It's so great. My fun task for today was to contact Appointlet about my calendar and appointment setting process. That's part of my site. When they want to sign up for a personal coaching private session with me, it has that all thing up. But I want to be able to charge them once they click that and select the date and the time. I want to be able to charge them right there on the spot through this Appointlet program. I need to learn. I think they can do that, but I'm going to find that out. At least that was my goal this morning. My exciting task today was to get a bid from a web developer from Fiverr on the 3 challenges that we're having to get down on my website. Anyhow, I ran into a problem with my printer today. Back when our modem crashed and we had to get a new one put in and installed, I forgot that I had to reset the connection of my printer to my laptop, which is a wireless connection. It took me, most of the day trying to figure that out. And it left the task that I continued to work on that I wanted to get done, like that Appointlet one, working. And so my master list task was what I focused on in the meantime. And then I finally slowly figured it out, and finally towards the end of the day got that printer working. Woohoo! Anyhow, my end of the day success routine says, get honest with yourself, Marty. What didn't go well today, or what could you have done better today? Did you wake up early and start strong? Man, I was so pumped and ready to go for Monday. I absolutely did. Blast cold water on my face. Oh man. Combed my hair and then went in and made the bed and went down, win the morning, win the day routine. My little high prayer reaches up here and my arm swings and my high-low touches, and just was a great way to start the day with power. Start it strong, stay strong, and end strong. Were you productive throughout your day? I didn't get as much as I want to get done, but yes, I was productive. I got pieces through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical. Check, check, check off that master list. Did you get the most important things done? 2 out of the 3 I did. The one I had a little bit no control over because it had the printer catch. Anyhow, it knocked me out for some time, and so I just didn't get to that part of it because you have to set an appointment and they have to call back and that kind of thing with Appointlet. But I'm going to get that done. Did you show up as the person you wanted to today, though, and so you could get your goals moving forward like I wanted to? Yes, I did. We had great night for a Monday night, the first night of our week, to get things going and relax. Kathleen was present for me, and she was wonderful. Made dinner, and it was just a great night. In summary, I asked myself, were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? Did you keep your promises that you made this morning? Well, this morning I promised myself that I would work with Fahad back and make sure he got those last 2 or 3 tasks finished up, and he spent the time and got it done. And then he's going to just be ready to go for when we get that Ontraport program ready to go. And like I said, I wasn't able to work on getting that Appointlet done because I had to focus my time on getting that printer fixed. And so I focused on the master, and then I figured it out. So I was so excited about that. So bam, done. I kept my promise. The next question is, what movies did you watch during your mindfulness time today, Marty? Were there any new instant pre-play movies? Well, besides my must-see TV favorite 5 movies, I watched a pre-played movie of my site as though it was all finished and had gone live. I can see it right now. I have to say that I know that it isn't going to be a perfect website because I didn't pay $3,000 to $5,000 to get this site built. I just didn't feel that I wanted to do it. Maybe down the road when I have a good class flow coming in from my coaching, I'll take some dollars and update the site and revamp it so that it's at the level that it might require at that time. But it's great doing what it is right now, and imagining that site going live was so fun. Anyhow, that was a good little video to watch in my head. My next question says, what's the one thing that will make all the difference going forward? What can I do better and going forward? Well, the one thing that I feel I can do better each day going forward is to try my best to avoid getting too much in the weeds and just stay focused on getting to the point that I'm ready to start coaching as soon as possible. Focus, 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 Marty. Get that dead things done so I can get to coaching. And so I'm going to make my power statement for tomorrow say the following. I will focus on getting a web developer to do the problem tasks and get those done, and then I'll contact Ontraport.com to start the process of getting the membership system, the forms, and the email marketing set up and working properly so everything is ready to go. Next is, were there any mistakes or failures that you had today, Marty, that you can turn into a tool of success going forward? Well, there wasn't anything in the way of mistakes or failures, but there was this issue with the modem burning out and then having to remember to reconnect everything with the wireless logins and so forth, which I forgot to remember about the printer. That's why it wasn't working. It's so frustrating. But that problem made me take a moment, because it was what it was. It made the problem sink deep into my head now that it's going to be there in my brain for it ever was to come up again, because I know exactly how to get it done. It was a good blessing in disguise, so to speak. But there was no tool of success necessary here. The next question is, what was your biggest success today, Marty? In other words, what did you do well? Well, my biggest success today was that I was able to remember a few things from the past experiences I've had from trying to figure out and doing searches on getting printers and my brother's printer that it is and how to download this driver and so forth, that I was able to get and come to my mind, and therefore I remember to click here and watch and I was able to get my printer up finally at the end of the day with no help from my wife or my family member or calling someone to help me with it. I feel great because I figured it out. I'm not a techie guy that way, but I figured it out. Way to go, Marty. The next step in my end of the day success routine is to rate my day's effort. And so I gave today an 8. I gave it an 8 because I worked at the speed of 8 today, and that's because of the printer delay. And the fact that I'm still needing to find a developer who can help me with those darn problem tasks related to the website. But all in all, things are still coming along, but it is taking longer than I had wanted and expected that it would take. But that's okay too, because I'm not dependent on the money right now. So I'm not, I'm not there. I just don't like falling short, however, of the time frame goals that I set and have set for when I can go live and do my coaching business. That's been a little frustrating, a little disappointing, and that's okay to feel disappointed because you commit yourself to get better and do better, and that's part of that doing better that I talked about. Okay, I want to end the day strong here. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the principle that says, one of the, if not the most important lesson we learn in life is what creates pain for us and what creates pleasure. And the fact that it is different for each of us. And therefore, so are our behaviors and values of each of us. We're all different that way. It all comes back to what we learn to link pain to and what we have learned to link pleasure to. Each of us different in what we link to. Many individuals, in fact, say like President Trump, his greatest drive to achieve comes from his compulsive desire to avoid the pain of being second best at anything, for example, which he equates to failure. For those folks like Trump, this fear of this kind of pain is a far more powerful motivator than their desire to gain pleasure. By contrast, let's consider Mother Teresa. She was a woman who cared so deeply for others that she constantly saw their pain, and therefore she suffered their pains with them. Seeing the injustice of the caste system, for example, wounded her. She learned of herself that when she took action to help these people, their pain disappeared, and so did hers. For her, pleasure came from wading through knee-deep muck, sewage, and filth in order to reach a squalid hut so she could minister to the infants and children within. She was powerfully driven by the sensation that helping these people out of their misery helped alleviate her own pain. And in helping them experience life in a better way, gave her pleasure. It gave her a sense that her life now had true meaning, two very different motivations, but still very much for drivers for both these people at different different ends of the spectrum, so to speak. These principles lead to the next thing I'm grateful for, and that's the law of destiny, which says whether your drive is for materialism like Mr. Trump's or for sublime humility like Mother Teresa, it is important that we remember that President Trump and Sister Teresa shaped their destinies. Each of them did, based upon what they linked pain and pleasure to. They made conscious decisions about what they wanted to reward or punish themselves for. In short, what you and I link pain to and what you and I link pleasure to will shape our destiny. Bam! So again, I come back to the question, what are some of the experiences of pain and pleasure that have shaped your life? Whether you have linked pain or pleasure to the taking of drugs, for example, certainly has affected your destiny. So have the emotions you've learned to associate to things such as cigarettes or alcohol, even concepts like giving to others or trusting others. What motivators have you learned to link to pain and pleasure? What motivators have you learned to link to pain and pleasure? Next, I'm grateful for Jim Rohn, who said again, be careful not to create false associations in your nervous system, these neuroassociations, as to what will create pain and pleasure in your life. At some level, a good parent often needs to come to the knowledge that they can't change what their children have associated to such things as drugs and beer and other potentially destructive vices or habits. So, a good parent needs to give their children an experience that their child won't forget, one that will help them link pain to it and not pleasure. To have an intellectual association to something is quite different than an emotional one. Emotional associations are those that guide one's future decisions for sure. When we develop painful neural associations, that mapping I talked about, to ideas such as drugs and drinking alcohol, etc., we usually won't even consider using them. So if we link massive pain to any behavior or emotional pattern, we will avoid indulging in it at all costs. And therefore, using this understanding to harness the force of pain and pleasure to change virtually anything in our lives can be a powerful tool, even a secret weapon for achieving success in our lives. Wow, that's something to go to bed on. Think on that one. And until we meet again here tomorrow night, right here at my laptop, I wish you continued success. Good night.